I don't really like eating fried squid and octopus. People act like it's good. I don't understand. It's just like chewy. It's like eating a rubber band. Seasoned well. Hi, I'm Lacey J. I'm an entrepreneur who started a social media agency at age 22. Weird, I know. I've been niching it down and building it up over the last 11 years, and a long 11 years they have been. Being on social media so much is hard on my and my team's mental health, so we work to find routines, balance, and focus on ethics that keep us showing up authentically online. If you manage social media accounts and you feel confused, unfocused, or straight up wackadoo, welcome to the club. We meet here once a week. Hi, I'm so glad you're here. It is the first week of March, and what we know, the first week of March, the most important thing for us to be doing is thinking about April. It's time to start solidifying a content plan for the next month. So April is our next month. So my plan today is to take you through some of the holidays, the national days, the seasonal themes that come up often in April, so that we can just be sure that we're all prepared together for our content coming in April. First thing is holidays and national days. When you are deciding what holidays or national days your brand is going to cover, there's a few things that you need to consider before we even start thinking about the details of which holidays we're gonna choose to cover. What are our brand values? What's our mission statement? So does it actually make sense for us to be talking about or celebrating certain national days or holidays? What do we actually care about? What are our brand values? Do these holidays fall in line with that? Also, what about our target audience, the community members that we have? Just because maybe our social media manager likes this holiday, that doesn't mean that it's going to be a good holiday for the rest of our community to care about or want to see. So you need to make sure that you're considering those things as you're getting ready to pick what you're going to focus on. So maybe the funnest one that we get to talk about is April Fool's Day, okay? April 1st is April Fool's Day. I have had some horrible things happen to me on April Fool's Day individually before. Once my boyfriend, he put my car for sale on Craigslist at a very low price and said I was trying to sell it very quickly, and I came out of a finals test in college to like 20 voicemails of people trying to buy my car. So really inventive way to use the internet for April Fool's Day there. For brands, lots and lots of brands are getting on this train of using April Fool's Day in their social media content. One example was Volkswagen a little while back. They were bringing out their electric car, and they put out this press release that said they were changing their name to Volkswagen. But they actually put the press release out 2 days early. And so everybody kind of went cuckoo bananas, and nobody would deny that it was true for a few days. So these media outlets didn't know what to do with this information. So if you are going to do some sort of April Fool's Day content, it can garner you a lot of attention and engagement in your community, but make sure you do it right. Don't mistime it, because then it can be really confusing for people. Another holiday or national day for you to be thinking about in April is National Library Week, which is April 3rd through the 9th. This is an awesome time to just kind of lean into whatever your local community is. Libraries often have a whole week of events during this time, and your job as a brand then is really just to amplify whatever they're doing. Again, thinking, is this in line with our brand values, and will our audience care at all if you're going to choose to do that? Okay, April 7th. Oh, April 7th is going to be a fun day. It's National Beer Day. It's World Health Day, okay? I'll give you bonus points if you can find a way to celebrate both National Beer Day and World Health Day in one post, okay? Show me what you do. I would love to see it. National Pet Day is April 11th. I mean, come on, that's like a home run, okay? You get pictures of your staff's animals, you post them online. It's actually almost more of a team building activity than it is a marketing activity on that day, where maybe people who are in your staff that don't normally engage and amplify your social content will start to get in there and engage in a new way because their pets are there. They're going to share it to their stories. They're going to share it to their Facebook page. So, I mean, National Pet Day, just do it, okay? Don't argue with me about it. Easter is April 17th. So now we're getting into, okay, we've got holidays that have a little bit of a religious slant. What do you choose to do with that? That's going to be up to you and your brand values. You can always, hide little Easter eggs in photos or reference things that are more about the traditions than about the things that maybe would cause any sort of controversy. So that's Easter thoughts. Earth Day is April 22nd. This is another one where we have to be very mindful about how we're celebrating or honoring this. The actual meaning of Earth Day, it's an annual celebration honoring the achievements of the environmental movement, which a lot of us probably feel, it's 75 degrees in February, so that's terrifying, but here we are. Honoring the achievements of the environmental movement and raising awareness of the importance of long-term ecological sustainability. So, does your brand focus on long-term ecological sustainability? Probably not. There's a few of you that probably are, but if that's not your jam, then again, your job is to amplify brands that are already doing a great job of this. Maybe they're going to run some sort of fundraiser that you can donate and be a part of and push that out to your community. But don't pander to it from a surface level standpoint. Standing outside with your staff and saying, Happy Earth Day, we love the earth, that's not really in line with what the actual meaning of that day is supposed to be. Hey, if you're looking for ways to build your foundational social media strategy skills, we've got a course for that. I worked with Adrian Harvey, who's the lead digital strategist at Spry, has a master's in digital media, and has worked in digital marketing for over 10 years to create this course. The course is called Social Media on Purpose, and it takes all of the lessons we've learned over our combined 24 years in the industry and distills them down into bite-sized lessons for you to enjoy. If you're interested, check it out at thinkspry.com/courses. Also, we're kind of cute and funny if that's important to you. So I'm going to focus now on some of the seasons and themes that come through in April, since we're done with some of the national days and holidays. So the first day of spring happens at the end of March. And so in April, spring is really coming into full swing. So there's lots of themes you can play on that, like new life, rebirth, renewal, spring cleaning, gardening. The reason that we even think about these kind of themes during this season is anytime that the entire population is experiencing something similar, it means that we can create content that's relatable to them, okay? So we're looking for these themes that people are experiencing to be able to create content that's relatable and connects people. There's also just thinking about what kind of color schemes you're using. So in the springtime, we've got this pop of bright colors, so thinking about adding some bright colors into your graphics. Have you updated your Facebook cover photo in a while? What are you going to do with that to bring it in line with what's happening seasonally? Same with your LinkedIn cover photo, your Twitter, etc. Another thing to think about is sports. Okay, April is actually a really big sports month. The NCAA National Championship is in April. Baseball's opening day is in April. The end of the regular seasons for the NBA and NHL are during April. So these are all, again, things that people are going to be experiencing, and you might be able to create some fun little posts or some content to play off of those themes that people are going to be seeing and having in their homes as they're watching TV. The last thing that I want to focus on for April is pandemic related. Okay, so lots of states across the country are removing mask mandates now as we're kind of nearing what seems like the somewhat end. I don't know how to title it. I'm not in charge of those things, but things are changing around the pandemic, which means we need to start thinking about what we are going to do with our visuals. I don't know how many of you were social media managers back in March of 2020 when we had to do this immediate shift from the normal photos and stock photography that we had grabbed and had taken and start
to put masks on people somehow. There was very little stock content with masks during that time, and so we had to start shooting content with masks right away. We had to start putting little disclaimers on our photos, like taken pre-COVID. And what's so interesting as time has gone on over these last 2 years is now, at least in the Pacific Northwest and lots of other places, when you put content with masks on, now sometimes you're getting the opposite reaction from people who have maybe become tired, if you will, of the pandemic, or just have different ideas about mandates and whatnot. And we've all had to deal with that the entire freaking time. So at least with the mask mandates being removed in a lot of states, yes, we're going to have to pivot and transition the content that we are putting out. We're going to have to retire some of these whole albums that we normally we can go back and draw from the albums that we've created, and now we've got to kind of retire a good amount of those because we won't need to have people in masks in photos anymore. So that's something to be thinking about for April. I'd be interested what else people are thinking for April theme-wise. Is there anything that I missed, anything glaring that I overlooked? So we'll talk about that in some of our Facebook group and whatnot. So you can come in there and yell at me about what I missed, okay? I'll look for it and I'll respond super kindly. All right, so before I send you off for the day and get you going on your week managing social media accounts, I just want to connect a little bit on the fact that at least for me and a lot of other people who I've been spending time with, life has been just so hard and heavy lately. This year, it seems like a lot of us are just holding a lot of emotional weight, and it's kind of squeezing out the sides for everybody. So one thing that I'll say that I've noticed that's been very helpful in my own personal life is being honest about how I'm doing. It's such a natural tendency for us to greet someone, hi, how are you? And I'm honestly usually offended if someone asks how I am. Like, that's so deep. Leave me alone. You want to know how I am? How am I? I don't know. And so I just try to be as honest as possible in those situations. I don't know. I'm not doing good. I didn't get enough sleep last night. I've been eating too much and I don't feel good. I feel sick to my stomach. 6 out of 10, that's kind of how I've been answering people. And it's interesting, when I answer with that level of blatant honesty to people, I usually get a very similar response back. People just open, their shell just kind of busts open, and they're open and honest with me about what they're experiencing too. And God, it's actually more of a positive, energetic exchange than if you put a shield up and try to say, I'm fine, I'm good. So I guess from a personal standpoint and from a social media standpoint, being honest, I think always yields more return for you. So whether you're running social media for a small independent company and there's been a change to some sort of policy and you need to communicate about that, or whether you work for a large company and they're pushing content towards you that doesn't actually feel in line with the values. So as social media managers, I think it's really important that we hold really tight to this idea of honesty as well, whether we are managing a small social media account for a local business or whether we are a social media manager representing a larger organization. We've got to push to be as honest as possible, because most of us who have been in the industry long enough know that as soon as you start glossing over things, or maybe not lying at all, but speak in a way that isn't reflective of actual corporate actions or brand actions, creates a disconnect between your brand and your community, and then there's no more healthy human connection happening. So that's a lesson I'm learning from a personal standpoint, and it's hard to implement it as a social media manager a lot of times, but it's something that I push hard towards. And I think you would find as a social media manager too, that if you keep pushing towards trying to be as honest as possible, you're going to see that will attract community and connection in a way that I think can only be accomplished with that level of honesty. So good luck with your week. I hope it's a good one. I can't wait to hear what you're going to do for April Fool's next month. Again, bonus points if you can make National Beer Day and World Health Day one post. I'd love to see it.
Social Media with Lacey J is brought to you by Spry Social Media Marketing. Edited and produced by Chad Hinman and executive produced by Lacey J. Font.